Cloud. Okay, so we're all recorded. So welcome. We've already been chit-chatting a little bit. I'm going to share my PowerPoint because I need it for at least one thing. All right. Can everybody see that? No. You can't see that. Come on, Lisa. Escape. You don't see my PowerPoint, right? I have to share screen first. And we got this. All right, ready?
Seeing
Here
it.
we go. There we go. Welcome. Hello. We've got a lot of Long Islanders here, which is great. Upstate. I'm so happy to see everybody. So I already said we're going to talk about ideas for PDs. Some people were in for a book club, so maybe we can do that every month. And then another thought that I have and people wanted to talk about are the different school-wide programs going on. But first, I wanted to give a shout out. Congratulations to Karina St. Louis for replying to my initial email. She won a book. So we are here today. I have to make sure, before I do this, I have to make sure my chat is up. I have the book, Have Fun, Molly Lou Mellon. I happen to be friends with the author. So I was able to have her right inside. I don't know if you can see it. It says New York State School Counselors Bake Your Own Fun from Patty Lavelle. So you have a chance to win, and I will mail this to you, a free book. Thank you for coming tonight. And here is how you're going to win. I'm going to give you a riddle, and the first correct answer in the chat will win the answer, will win the prize, the book. Ready? What do you call a noodle pretending to be someone else? Dun, 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 dun. Oh, 3 new messages. Oh, so excited. Okay, so I have to say Sabrina Mackey is the winner. And yes, the answer is an impasta. And this was told to me by a student this week, and I thought this is just so much fun. And we all know the one, what's cheese that's not yours? Nacho cheese. Nacho cheese. And I think it's important to keep laughing with your kids. And I think we have to just enjoy children because this is hard for everyone. So Sabrina, I'm writing down your name and I'll have to look up your email so I can get your information. So congratulations to Sabrina. Everybody, round of applause. Round of applause for Sabrina. Woo! That's good stuff. All right, so let's talk about PDs. I am going to switch to, does everybody have any experience with polls everywhere? Has anybody ever used them? Yes, no, maybe? Okay, do you have your cell phones? Give me a thumbs up if you have your cell phones by you. Okay, we are prepared and ready to go. I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to get a lot of information this way. Here it is. Polls everywhere. Okay. Okay. Anybody have any idea how I can get to this? Oh, when it's all the way over there. There it is. Aha. All right. Polls everywhere. Going back to activities. And why does that say trash? Okay. What PD activities are you interested? I'm going to activate this. Now, if you take your cell phone and text to the number 37607 and then text my name, Lisa Milady 748, you'll then get a pop which will tell you you're in polls everywhere. And then you can put in what PDs or what you'd like to learn about. And when you're thinking about it, think about what's stressing you out. Thinking about an area that this is where I'm blocked. I can't keep myself organized. I can't find time to make my phone calls. I want to learn more about trauma, you know. Let's see where everybody's at. And I'm going to make sure it's working too. 3, 6:07. And I want to learn more about DEI. Let's see if we get it in there. There's mine. So I know it's working. Hold on. Bobo. Joe, can you call Bo? Anybody else? Are you not? Is it not working for you guys? Oh, okay. Here we go. Documenting. Getting documenting better. All right. Why don't you, while we're waiting for more ideas to come in, who said, oh, I love this. Documenting, get it. Skills, working, organization. Who talked about documenting? Pop out. Oh, let's just talk. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't even ask a question yet. I'm so excited. Let's see. Getting effectively better, working, organization, skills, processing, teachers, data, documenting, teachers, management skills, groups, caseloads, processing, documents, organization. Organization is a big one. Data. See, now, if you notice, when people are doing data, the more the same person puts in the idea, that word gets bigger than the rest of them. Isn't this cool? All right, teacher skills, organizing, multiple documenting, DEI, collaboration. All right, so it seems like data. We'll give it a couple more seconds. Okay, documenting, supporting, management. All right. We'll give it a couple more seconds and then we'll pop out. Multiple organization skills, DEI, documenting, behavior. Groups. That's awesome. Multiple management, collecting. I think groups, we're doing a lot of stuff. All right, thank you, everybody. I am going to, I love this. Groups, I think groups came big. Well, I have good news for everybody. I'm gonna stop sharing so we can all come together. So running of groups. Who wants to talk about running of groups? What would you like to bet? Where are you at with running of groups? How can we help you run groups? Please pop out. This should be.
I'll go first. I'll speak up.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you.
So I'm actually a first-year counselor with Justin. We were hired for the same district. We're the first in the district.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're both each at 5 schools.
Okay.
So I think I could speak for Justin because we do communicate a lot. We're under, every day is a new school. So kind of trying to like start from square one and like understanding like this is new for both of us. And like how to organize, how to pick groups, how to communicate with teachers. Like that's why we both decided like we have to come here because like we need all the help we can get, because going in 5 schools and like knowing where to start on like what kids need these groups, because we can only see them once a week because we're only in these schools once a week.
Right. And when you try to see those 5, let's say you can run 3 groups and you're trying to see those 15 kids or however many it is, then that day you'll also have 18 different referrals. So managing the day and staying organized when you go place to place to place is a huge thing. How many people, and we can just do a simple thumbs up, or how many people are in more than one school? Let's just take a sense of, okay, oh, I'm not. I'm lucky, half and half. So, okay, so a lot of people are in more than one school. So it's not just groups, it's group going from place to place to place to place, and how to travel and carry with yourself. The good news, anybody coming to the conference? Okay, yay, I'll see you there. We'll hug. We'll be like, yay, elementary counselors. I am presenting on facilitating groups, which will be great practice. And then I can come back on 1 month if it's okay with you. And we can talk about surviving, going from one place to one place to one place. So that is awesome. And if I give anybody a hint today, there is a magic in deciding Sunday night, a simple activity that you can put in a bag and use that one activity, K through 5, whoever you're doing, whoever you're seeing in whatever school, And let's say it's a book, or let's say it's a game that you're playing. Use your own imagination to make it work for whatever group you're with. Because if you're trying to plan, and I did this mistake, if you're trying to plan this activity for this group and this activity for this group and this, and oh, I wanted to do this with these kids because this kid said that last week. There's ways to tailor your lesson to meet the kids' needs in different groups. So if I give anybody any hint or advice, one management skill is Sunday, have an activity in a bag that you can take wherever you go. All right. And so you're also, how do I pick which kids and how do I communicate with teachers? So this is a big thing. Today's meeting is to talk about where we want to go. And so this is a really important topic. A couple of people put up their data. Is it data or data? We're going to have to take like the tomato or the potato test. I'm not sure which one it is. I go back and forth. What kind of data are you looking to learn about? Whoever put in data, can somebody pop out and talk about their data concern?
So what I put in data for, and I also was tracking the day and the documenting. It takes a lot to do all the data processing, and I'm really fortunate in my building that we also have a data coordinator that works through BOCES. So we're able to do some things to help, but I would love any other suggestions to help with the data. For us, we use it for making the groups and for making sure we are not losing or having anybody fall through the cracks for our continuum. And I think the first thing that I was thinking too with the documenting is as everybody here, I'm sure they're just full days, and I just want to make sure that everything that is being done during the day doesn't get lost. So I'd love to have tips for that as well. You're muted, Lisa. You're muted, Lisa.
Thank you, Kathy.
Yeah.
Because my dog was barking. No, so I live by the one notebook in my hand with a pencil wherever and whatever I do. So if I talk to a student, if I talk to a parent, and I put like squares, it's a disaster. Nobody can understand it but me. And then because you know this, you can have 3 different conversations in 2 minutes and then move to a second intervention when the kid's running by the hallway. And you're like, what just happened? Who did I just see? And I found that when I walk and talk and live and breathe by writing it down, then I am relaxed knowing that when the buses leave, or even I go home with my cup of tea, or even the next day when my brain is better in the morning, I can backtrack and look at all the different interventions. And I've also done this to look at indirect services, direct services. How many times have I been pulled for a crisis? How many times have I been pulled to, in COVID, I hate to say this, but I was put into the library position a lot because I could do a classroom guidance lesson, which I made the best of. But when we were quarantining, there were not enough adults in the building to take care of the children. I'm lucky that I don't get pulled for that, but this is data that we keep for ourselves.
Lisa, if you had a template for that data tracker rather than reinventing the wheel, and I know there are lots of things that are out there as well, but that would be really helpful.
ASCA has a kick one. I don't know how to say
the 15-minute interval.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what you fill out, not during the day. You fill it out like, like as you can, everything in your book is chronological. Right. So you can think and know and just guesstimate, and you can see, I saw 5 kids in crisis today, and that's just a really great way to track. All right. So we have management, running groups, being sane when you go to 5 different places at a time, and data, keeping track and not losing things. I would like to shout out to you. It's an important mental piece as well, to understand that at the end of the day, when you've done everything you can do, it's important to walk away and go home and know that. And I know that when I check off my boxes that I've done everything I can, close the door and go home and you will be okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Lisa's losing the connection of the voice and video. Is it me? Is everybody else okay? Okay. Let's take the next poll, okay? Was that fun? Did you like that? All right, let's share screen again because this hour is going to go so fast. Okay. And let's go back to activities. All right, so we did PD topics. You guys can put yes or no. I'm going to activate this. So what do you think about a monthly book club? Let's just take a poll. This is a poll everywhere. Okay, so we're going to count how many people and then, okay. Now there are how many of us? So I'm going to do a little math in my head. We have 26 participants. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. Okay.
Lisa, would it be one book?
This is what we talk about after. Some people can't, and I get that. Okay, we're getting a lot of yes. We can decide if it is, there's all different ways for this. And this is what we're going to create together because we're going to be each other's support groups and superstars through all this. All right, perhaps. I love that. I love that. Perhaps. You have to read it like that. Have you ever been in a group and the kids are like, whatever, and all of a sudden you decide you're going to teach in an English accent? Hello, today we will be learning about hands to ourselves. You know, learning to speak in accents, you know, like pretending. Sometimes the cowboy comes out. Oh, rootin' tootin' cowboy. All right, I'm going to deactivate this and books to use with kids. That's what we're going to ask now. This is a good thing. So I'm going to stop sharing. Good job. So we have yes, 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 yes. So we can do this two ways. I have a great friend who said, this is a great book, Leading the Rebound. It is called 20 plus must-dos to restart teaching and learning after COVID. We're already in it. We're already in it doing what we have to do. Or we can, reading to learn is hard. I read the book, The Boy Who's Raised as a Dog, which was about trauma. That was a tough one, but I learned a lot from it. Do we want to do a simple book? There's also Eradicating Racism. Or maybe we can all, you know, pick a children's book and just bring a children's book and share different books that we loved and that we thought the kids loved. We can do something like that. So we have adult book or we have centering kids books. Do we want to jump in with an adult book? I wish everybody would come off so I could see everybody's lovely faces. Go in the chat if you would rather do adult or kid, adult or kid, adult or kid. Let's look what people are thinking. All right, so nacho cheese. So sorry, it was a nice assistant quarantine teacher and SEL coordinator quarantine students right now. Sorry, it's like, oh, don't worry, Leslie. Please, Leslie, you've done everything. I just saw that. No worries. And quarantining is still going on. Both student books, kid books, exciting for either. Okay, kids. Oh, okay. Adults, both. Okay. Now here's, okay. All right. I will send out an email. It seems like we're really on the fence with whatever we want to decide to do. And I'm thinking if we're going to do something around time management, let me think of something great that has to do with your needs and concerns that we put in from the PDs. And then I'll send around an email. And how about this? I'll send a title. We'll work on that. And when we meet next month, we'll have another book winner. And can somebody volunteer to share a book that they love that their kids are just like overjoyed with? Something, because sometimes when you read a book, kids just connect. Have you ever heard of Don't Laugh at Me? If you don't know Don't Laugh at Me, and there's a song that goes with it. So I'll read the book and then I'll play the song, and it touches children's hearts. So I'm going to put that in the chat. So if you go back, everybody can see that. Does anybody have a book and an activity that the kids just are falling over and loving that you would be willing to share next week? Anybody? All right, we will visit this again. All right, I'm going to share one more time. Let's take the last poll.
Lisa, if you want, I can send you my own children's books. I write children's books and I read them to the kids.
I would love that. Who is that, Leslie?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, yes, please share. And you may inspire others to do the absolute same thing. I love that.
Yay.
Okay, ask me later. All right. One of the things that was in the survey responses were, what are the school-wide programs that you're doing? And before I activate, I guess I can activate it. One of the ways to create sanity in a comprehensive elementary program is to take what you have to do from the state and incorporate other elements into it. We have to do character education. We have to do Aaron's Law. We have to do, in my building, we also have something called Start with Hello. And so whenever I go in and I have to present something, I always weave in another thing, most often character education, or whatever problem the school is having at that time. So when I did DASA, Dignity for All lessons in the kindergarten, I also reviewed, you have dignity when you use the bathroom. And this is how you use the bathroom. You walk in. And even teaching the kids to pull up their pants and not show everybody your privates and throwing things away in the garbage. This was something that I was a problem in the kindergarten. So I made a goal of teaching all the kindergartners how to use the bathroom. All right, so what school-wide programs are you responsible for, or what kind of school-wide programs do you have? Oh, second step. That's awesome. Some districts have, I love Start with Hello. Oh, College Day. We do College Day. I love that. That's awesome. We can all share these things, which is great. Too Good for Violence. I think that's Brentwood schools use that too. I've heard that that's a really good. I've heard High Five is a great curriculum. We're doing Red Ribbon Week now. Did you ever challenge any of your students to say Red Ribbon Week 3 times fast? Red Ribbon Week. Richard, go ahead and try it. We've been saying it all week long. All right. Any other school-wide programs? Does anybody else do character education?
I'm going to say yes. It's not letting me respond anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry. I was going to do
No,
character
okay.
ed
Thank
and
you. Oh, PBIS, perfect. Lions Quest. Now, if your district doesn't have any of these, when we pop off, if you want to talk about what your school does and what you like about it, and or what you don't like about it, you may help another counselor advocate for something that might work for their school. All right. Character education. We have a committee that I'm part of. I love that you're part of a committee. one of the best ways to get teachers on your side is to be parts of the committees, help them out, and then they'll in turn help you out, which is so important. Oh, I can't wait to hear about ruler and approach. I don't know about that approach. All right. It's great. It's very interesting to me that nobody has, they're all singular responses. Okay, I'm going to deactivate, come back, stop sharing, come back to all your beautiful faces on this day. Who does the ruler program? I want to hear about that because I haven't heard about that. Ruler?
Hi, we do ruler, but it's not really a program. It's like an approach. This is a district-wide initiative in Port Washington where we all have a common language for emotional language and management skills. So it's integrated in, common core classes, groups, lesson plans. It's just a part of our everyday life for staff and for students.
Where does someone get information on ruler? Did you create it for Port Washington or is it Googled?
Yale. No, it's created. It's created by Yale.
Okay.
And there are trainings, materials. There are tons of things online.
I love that. You just sparked a thought. One of the biggest turning points when I was this counselor with 1,000 kids and working to get teachers on my side is when I would use the same language with my students in group, and I would take the time, either make a worksheet or something, and go back and sit with the teacher and say, look what they learned about feeling foul, feeling fine. Look what they learned about positive actions. When you're feeling sad, here are 3 positive actions you can do. And I would teach the teacher in 30 seconds and have the kids say, look what I learned to do. And so the teacher learned the language I was using with the kids, and then it would close the gap. So even if you're in 5 different elementary schools, if you start using the same words, this is how you cope. I teach 3 things every time. Talk it out, think good things, and breathe. If you're in my school, everybody knows these things because we sing songs, and it is just my way that I teach the same language. So I think that when you have a group and you go back to the teachers and say, look what he can do breathing, he can, whatever it is, you're connecting to the teachers, and that's a good way to help the whole entire school be proactive with social and emotional learning. Awesome. Who wants to talk about their program? There was Lion's Quest. There was Too Good for Violence. I think that's a free one. Am I wrong? Is Too Good for Violence free? Who's using Too Good for Violence? Anybody? No Too Good for Violence?
We use it at our school, but Leaf comes in and do it for us. So they actually come in and schedule it with the teachers.
Okay, that's awesome. And I think, what is the message behind Too Good for Violence?
It's about problem solving, decision making, just, making good choices, as far as problem solving and, thinking about
conflict resolution.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
conflict resolution.
And you like it?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a little tough. It's a little tough. I'm sorry. For some reason, I couldn't find my unmute thing.
That's okay.
Yeah, we've been doing it. It's not free. We do pay for it.
Okay.
We've been doing it initially we had gotten a grant for it.
Okay.
And it's been in our district for, I want to say since before 2016. I want to say maybe since 2014.
Okay.
And we no longer have the grant, but we are still using the program. So we order what we need. And it basically, it promotes conflict resolution,
Okay.
mostly. Teaching the kids how to get along, teaching the statements, I feel this,
Mhm.
because, so trying to get them to express and to say what it
Mhm.
is that they're feeling without being accusatory. And like, that's one of the main things that especially with our third grade. So
Yeah.
now in our district, the counselors do second and third grade, and the teachers will do the first grade. The classroom teachers will do first grade, and then our fourth and fifth are done by a gym teacher that comes into the building and
Okay.
does them separately. It is a lot, especially when you're split between two
Yes.
buildings. It is a lot, because you're basically doing two full-time jobs in
Mhm.
each building, and on top of that, you have to make sure you juggle schedules around with getting these lessons in, because it's not just like a one lesson, you go into a classroom,
Right.
they're like 8 consecutive lessons or 10 consecutive lessons, depending on,
Ooh,
what grade it is.
that's a lot. That is a
It
lot.
is, it is a lot. The kids love it.
Mhm.
The second grade curriculum has a puppet, Wagner,
Okay.
and it's really cute. And the third grade curriculum has a robot that you can actually project your voice, like it's sounds like it's talking. So it's fun. The kids love it.
Mhm.
The kids love it. I like the message. I just
Mhm.
I don't like how much time it takes
Right.
from us, because every
Right.
time we're in a lesson and things happen, we have to run out.
So here we're talking about caseloads as well, because you're under pressure to do so many different lessons, and I'm sure your caseload is just to say, we have my friend on that side has 5 buildings. I can't imagine a caseload for 5 buildings. There is such a fight right now, not a fight. We're working really hard on NISCA to write legislation that includes elementary counselors to have a caseload of 250. For some reason, they think that elementary counselors can handle the whole building by themselves. We are super people who we are human that need to go to the bathroom and have lunch just like everybody else. And I will let you know that we were invited, NISCA was invited to speak at Senator Mayer's hearing, where we gave testimony about social emotional learning and how schools are spending money and the importance of elementary counselors. And as I sat there, Bob Rotunda, our executive director, did the speaking. He was amazing, but I went to just go see. And presenter after presenter after presenter said, and we have social workers and psychologists, and we have social workers and psychologists, and even, the New York State Union of Teachers, the NYSET man said, we have teachers and psychologists. And I chased him down when he was done, and I said, we need to have a meeting, because you didn't mention school counselors, and you need to understand, and it's K through 12. And right now, the New York State, there is a bill that says we should look at guidance counselors from 6 to 12. And I was like, well, what about elementary school? There are New York State regulations that we are trying to meet in an impossible standard, because we have too many students to do it. So I want you to feel that even though we're talking, we're chit-chatting, we're going to have a book club, we're going to do fun things. Maybe one night we'll do wine when we have off on Thursday. We'll have some fun. But we are fighting. Part of your NISCA money goes towards us fighting the fight for elementary counselors. And I am thrilled that Katie, I'm thrilled you're hired. I'm sorry you're hired for five buildings. And I hope that the more we learn to speak and be united, that people will see the value of what we do. And before, when I was talking about keeping that jot of your daily log, that's an important advocacy tool. Because if you can go to your principal at the end of a week, at the end of a day, at the end of a month, and say, this is what I did. And they go, oh, it's like a ripple. You have to see elementary counselor in many different areas as a ripple. We make a little dot and it goes out and it goes out and it goes out. And together we are passionate about helping elementary children. We have a different skill set, understanding developmental needs. And so we have to convince the people that make the decisions that we are valuable and good. One thing I want to say to all of you, be proud of what you do. Shoulders back, chin held high. Don't worry about the 15 things you didn't get done. Embrace the 20 things you did. Because I think often at the end of the day, you go home and think about, oh, but I didn't. Oh, but I didn't. Oh, but I didn't. But you did. You do so much simply by walking up and down the hallways and the children and the teachers knowing you are that helping person. Just by showing up, you've already done magnificent things. And from there, we'll move on and take care of the rest. All right. That's my like cheering you on today. Ha 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 ha. Does anybody else want to talk about, Michelle Falco is also one counselor working in 4 buildings and doing push-in lessons. I love that. Do we want to talk about principal support, school systems, how things are set up for you, and if there's any way that we can help that out? Are you feeling supported by your school? Okay, Kathy is yes. Janice is yes. We're feeling so. Harzu is not quite sure. All right. It's hard, especially when you're in a oh, good. Bridget's feeling supported and good. All right. All right. Justin, to everyone, supported in 4 out of 5 buildings. Aha. Let's hope for a retirement in the 5th. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Maybe, I don't know. All right. I feel wonderful that you're feeling supported in your buildings. Okay, so far we talked a lot about management, groups. I have the whole, Lisa, go Lisa, go Lisa. Don't raise your hand, just shout out.
Hi, I've had my camera off because I'm outside walking. Otherwise, I wasn't going to do this.
Can we just say how great it is that you are outside walking, and that is beautiful.
Thank you. So I had a question because I made a shift this year. I came from I came from a middle school, and it's my first year in an elementary school. And one thing I'm wondering about, I have a lot of great support from my principal, but it seems like if I talk to a student, the consensus seems to be like, well, you need to call home and, talk to the parents since you met with the student. And I'm not used to that.
Yeah.
And I guess I was just wondering, is that a common elementary thing? Like we really should be calling home anytime we meet with a student, because it just kind of doesn't go along with how I've always been and, how I'd like to be there for the students. So I was wondering if that was, the way it was in general.
Are you in the same school district? You went from the same
No.
school district to middle, so you changed school districts?
Yes.
Okay. Because I'm going to put this out to everybody, and we're going to listen to all different opinions. There are going to be people who say, I call every time. There's people going to say, no, I never call. And here's Mrs. Mulady, right in the middle. In my school district, I think a lot depends on your administration. And a lot depends on, I'm going to say this, your school board and your parent population. There are certain parent populations that if they didn't find out that their child, it's going to explode. So there are certain school districts where it is understood that anything happens to your child, they're going to call home. And then there's certain school districts where you can't even get people at home. And in order to call home, and not that I'm saying you shouldn't try, because you have to do your due diligence, and there's parent square messages. But there are problems that you solve that are within the regular school day, where it is no harm, no foul. It is part of the developmental process of being in school. And I stand firm on my interventions with kids where it is, you're happy, you're happy, you're happy, we're happy, we learned, woohoo, we're happy. And so I also am at the point where I've been in the same building for 31 years. So it is as if, you know, oh, Mrs. Milady, like it's okay. Like that, but if you're a new person, I would say make as many parent phone calls as you can, because then word of mouth will be like, that Miss Lisa, you're gonna have to say your last name for me.
Well, I just say Miss S. That's much
Okay,
easier.
that Miss S, she's so helpful. That Miss S, she's so wonderful. That Miss S, she's so great. And so there's a few different things. There are, it's your district, it's your principal. You got to do whatever your principal says. And if you disagree, you have to have very delicate conversations through your relationships, but you really have to follow your principal. There is a lot of phone calling and parenting. If there is a lot of, in elementary school, a lot of taking care of the elementary kids is taking care of the parent. And so there's an important building of the relationship. And I love the quick phone call. You know, hey, just want to let you know. And if a kid is scared, and I'm going to put this out here, I'm going to get hit. How many of us have heard this? You can't call home because I'm going to get hit. I call in front of the kid and I say, okay, this is what I tell them ahead of time. This is what I'm going to say. And I say to the parent, I want to let you know how proud I am of Johnny. Johnny and I were just talking about a mistake he made, and I am so happy he learned from it, although it was a big mistake. So I have to let you know that this happened. And he and I talked about how kids get consequences. So he knows that he may not be able to watch TV tonight. He knows that he may have to go to bed early without ice cream. He knows that these are the things that may happen. I leave it up to you as the parent to do it. And I am looking forward to Johnny learning from this mistake, because you know, we all make mistakes. And then, you know, I am teaching that parent my expectation as I go along. Okay. Does anybody else want to have, like, they have to make a phone call? Go ahead, Kathy.
I was just going to say that I typically, the very first time that I see a student or a group, just kind of go over in elementary terms the mandated status, that, you know, I'm here to make sure that everybody in the building is safe and comfortable. And there are times that if I hear that there is something that is unsafe, I'm going to have to get another adult to know what is happening, because that's my job to make sure that you're safe. Other times, if you say that it's okay to share, then we go from there. And typically at the beginning, I can always go back to that. I'm a K4 building, and so we do tend to connect in my building with families if it's out of the ordinary or if it's not a typical concern. And for my older students, I usually ask them, you know, how do you feel about letting mom or dad or your grown-up know? And, you know, most of the time they want to be the one to share with their adult at home. And I'd like to honor that and then follow up afterwards if necessary. And other times it's okay to call, and I just need to, I mean, there are times that we have conversations that are, they're really not as strong or powerful, and they want to share. And then there are ones that are really hard. And, you know, I just have to have a conversation, but that does tend to set it up that the students know what we're about.
Yeah, I love that. And Deanna Brown had a great answer. Deanna, do you want to pop off, pop out? What do we do on Zoom? Pop in? I don't know which one. Deanna?
Sure. Yeah, I'm juggling a bunch of different things right now. Yeah, it's in our like handbook, parent handbook, that there's a list of different counseling supports available, and as needed support is one of those. That's, I mean, if I called home about everything that I handled, I would be
Yes.
on the phone a lot, you know, like little recess issues or somebody's bunny rabbit died, or, you know, all sorts of odds and ends that we field throughout the day. But once I get to a point where I'm scheduling regular meetings with a child to like continually work on something or with a group, then I do, as a parent, I would want to know. So I do get consent. I just was going to pull up the school counseling ethics, because I feel like it's addressed in there as well about parental consent and the parents being the guiding voice. And again, as a parent, you know, I kind of put my parent hat on. Would I want to know if my child were meeting regularly with the school counselor? Yes, I would.
Yes. And I love how you said, I'm going to pull up my ethics, my Ask Ethics, because even now, and I still, let me just check this out before, let me rethink this, and I will look at the ASCA piece. There's NISCA information, but also I support your district and your principal saying, my principal always says, we have the right to see anybody and talk to anybody. That's it. It's part of the school program. But again, the question was, do you have to call every parent every time? I think that's almost an impossible task. But you're new. I'd go by your principal, and I would, and can we all just agree how hard it is to find the time, but how great it is when you call and you say, hey, it's Mrs. Belady. And on the other end, you had, what happened now? I said, I just want to tell you, we are celebrating because we had the best morning ever, and we're going to have a dance party. So ask, you know, I just want to let you know today's a great day. Here, you want to tell mommy? Go ahead, you tell mommy, because it's those little things that make such a huge difference. Anybody else have any questions or concerns? We're coming up on our, I love this chit chatty part.
Lisa? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Deanna, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Well, I jumped on late, so I'll just apologize if you already covered this, but I'm just wondering how schools are handling confidentiality around COVID cases in terms of like need to know information. Like, are you finding out if somebody's COVID positive in order to be able to be supportive of them having dealt with that? Or are you getting the like, it's confidential, I can't talk about it, even to the school
No.
council?
I'll speak to my school, and this will be interesting to see all the other schools. We have a shared document where we have anybody who is quarantining, exposed, who in the family, who in the house. So I have access to that information because all the helping people are getting calls. It's not just one person finding out. And so we're all sharing with each other.
So
It's a
my
shared
school is
track.
actually referencing HIPAA, that it's a HIPAA violation for them to share it among school staff. And I'm like, I don't agree with that.
Well, we are it's the PPS people. It's a very small group of people, but we have to do contact tracing. So how can you do contact tracing without letting people know? That's interesting. Does anybody else have a school following the HIPAA law and saying like Deanna's school?
Yes, both of my buildings, we're not privy to that information. Yeah, we all get the same email, you know, the entire faculty gets the
Okay.
same email that whoever needs to quarantine is quarantining, and
Okay.
all that information is confidential,
hush.
and yeah, and they don't tell us anything. So at the beginning, it was a concern last year for me. It was a little bit of a concern. Well, not a lot, because
Yeah.
I felt like we are not in a classroom per se all day long like the teachers are, but we're jumping around from classroom to classroom. So
Right.
we should know if something is going on so that we know, okay, we can say, because even like I did the contact tracing training. And I'm thinking, okay, so how are they going to know I was in a classroom doing a lesson? And how are they going to know that I had to go and sit and observe a kid? So that was a tough thing at the beginning, you know, but I don't even remember how it got worked out, but
It is hard.
it was a scary thing at first, you know?
One thing and let's hope we never go back there, but in my school, my principal didn't want me, the counselors, the PPS people, to go into classrooms for that reason. They didn't want us to push in. So I sat at my desk like this, and the teacher projected me on the screen, and I did lessons from there.
Okay.
And so if
Yeah.
anybody, you know what, even those of you who are in the 5 or 6 different buildings, you know, how time efficient is that? I know it's not the same as being in person, but there's maybe one day we can talk a lot about Google Slides too. Over COVID, I created so many different Google Slides that I made videos for. And so now the kids are walking up and down the hallway and we're reusing them for character education. So the kids are like, I saw you today. Like, yes. And there's like a magical piece where the kids are really excited. So we have 1 minute. Here's an idea. Think about it. A Google slide. You do a little lesson. Check me out on YouTube. Lisa Milady, YouTube. There's like a million videos. And then the teacher watches it. I put in some thinking maps. This year I have kids reading character education books. Our theme is sports themes. So I have the high school and middle school kids in uniforms making videos. Hey kids, be kind. You know, it's a lot of fun. So now that we have this technology, if you've got 5 schools and you can make one Google slide the teachers can show, I mean, hey, home run.
Lisa, just really quickly, I was going
Yeah.
to say that last year I worked on 5th into 6th grade transitions, you know, for the middle school to help prepare the kids. And obviously I couldn't go to every building, to every class, every 5th grade class. So I just had like the Google, I would push in with the Google Meets and have like a PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides. And that's sort of how I did it. And I feel like, I know in person, as you said, is better than anything, but that was so efficient. I feel like it was so efficacious to be able to get into every class like that.
Just curious, how many people are comfortable with creating Google Slides, with making those interactive kind of things? Anything? Yeah. Anybody not so much? Not so much?
We need practice.
Yeah, but we all do. And the problem is we don't have time to dedicate to learning things because we're too busy catching up and doing that all the time. Well, everybody, I hope you feel supported. You've got a friend in me. I have everybody's emails. You'll get a certificate of attendance for this hour. So you can say, hey, everybody, I did this. And my goal is to do it once a month. So November will be quick, probably because November, probably at the end of the month somehow. So we will do that. And I hope everybody feels loved. Email me if you have any questions or concerns. And congratulations to, who was it? Sabrina? Who won the book? Where's my winner? Yay! All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Everybody have a really good night. I'm going to stop recording, I think, right? Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank
Tell your friends to come. Maybe we'll bring a friend and win a prize.
Lisa, we'll get a recording, right? I was a little late. We'll get like a recording.
I think I recorded it. I'm just trying to, oh, there it is. It's recording right now. So I'm going to stop.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the recording will go on YouTube.
Yay.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good luck to everybody. Say hi, Jill.
I was in the car at first, so I couldn't come on.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. Is this, I'm an elementary school counselor in the city,
Oh, nice.
in Queens. So this is all around New York. Is that it?
This is New York State.
New York
it
State. I
is
see.
Everybody, everywhere. Buffalo, Syracuse,
Wow.
Rochester, Queens.
Oh wow.
Long
Oh yeah.
Island.
I work in Queens, so I've
Yeah.
been elementary the whole time. So, but
That's
different.
awesome.
Yeah. So
I love it.
I'll talk
Bye,
more.
Lisa.
Bye,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you for this.
so much. Have a great night. See you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.